In the next few minutes, I'm going to expose 12 bread brands hiding chemical preservatives, synthetic dough conditioners, and processing shortcuts behind their soft, fluffy promises. Plus, I'll reveal the 3 brands that actually deliver real bread without the toxic baggage. Stay until the end, because number 1 will change how you shop forever. Let's start with what's sitting in your pantry right now. 12. Friends. Starting at number 12, Franz bread has been a West Coast staple for generations, showing up at family breakfasts and school lunches across the Pacific Northwest. But beneath that familiar wrapper sits a concerning ingredient list. The bread contains calcium propionate, listed openly as a mold inhibitor, extending shelf life far beyond what traditionally baked bread could achieve. This preservative allows bread to sit in warehouses and on store shelves for weeks without spoilage. The ingredient list also includes dextrose, a form of added sugar that serves no traditional baking purpose beyond enhancing browning and shelf stability. For older adults managing blood sugar or trying to reduce unnecessary sweeteners, these additions transform a simple staple into a more complex processed food. Franz represents the quiet compromise where convenience gradually replaced freshness and simplicity. 11. Aunt Millie's at number 11. Aunt Millie's carries that wholesome, grandmotherly name evoking home baking and family traditions. The reality tells a different story. The bread contains calcium propionate as a preservative, ensuring long shelf life. What makes Aunt Millie's concerning is the inclusion of multiple emulsifiers and dough conditioners, including monoglycerides and sodium stearoyl lactylate. These chemical compounds modify texture and structure, creating uniform, pillowy softness through chemistry rather than traditional baking. Sodium stearoyl lactylate strengthens dough by interacting with starches and proteins in ways natural fermentation never would. For older adults who grew up when bread was flour, water, yeast, and salt, these multi-syllable additives represent a fundamental transformation. The emulsifiers improve mixing efficiency and reduce costs, benefiting manufacturers while adding unnecessary chemical complexity to your daily toast. 10. Lewis Bake Shop. Coming in at number 10, Lewis Bake Shop positions itself as a neighborhood bakery alternative, but the ingredients reveal industrial-scale processing. The bread includes both calcium propionate and sorbic acid as preservatives, a double-barrier approach extending shelf life impressively. The dough conditioner list includes ethoxylated mono and diglycerides along with sodium stearoyl lactylate. Ethoxylated mono and diglycerides are particularly concerning because the ethoxylation process can introduce trace contaminants, including 1,4-dioxane. These emulsifiers create consistent texture across massive production runs. For consumers over 45 who remember when bread would go stale within days, this indefinite freshness should raise questions. Lewis Bake Shop demonstrates how thoroughly industrial methods have infiltrated what should be among our simplest foods. 9. Martin's Potato Rolls and Bread. At number 9, Martin's Potato Rolls and Bread have earned loyal followings for their distinctive soft texture and slightly sweet flavor. The ingredient list includes calcium propionate and datum, a dough conditioner that modifies how proteins and starches interact. What makes Martin's particularly notable is the inclusion of color additives, specifically turmeric and annatto, used to create that appealing golden yellow hue. While these colorants derive from natural sources, their presence raises an important question. Why does bread need added color at all? Traditional bread's color comes entirely from natural browning of flour and whole grains. Adding color serves purely aesthetic purposes, making the product more visually appealing rather than improving nutrition or taste. Martin's shows how even distinctive, well-loved products rely on chemical interventions and unnecessary additives to achieve their signature characteristics. 8. Mrs. Baird's claiming the number 8 spot. Mrs. Baird's has been a Texas institution for over a century, carrying regional pride and multi-generational loyalty. But time has not been kind to their ingredient standards. The bread contains both calcium propionate and sorbic acid as dual preservatives, ensuring extended shelf life. The inclusion of both datum and monoglycerides as dough conditioners creates texture through chemical modification rather than traditional fermentation and quality ingredients. What troubles many longtime fans is how drastically Mrs. Baird's has changed from the simpler product their grandparents bought. The modern version reflects ownership changes and industrial consolidation that prioritized efficiency over ingredient quality. For older Texans who remember Mrs. Baird's as a local treasure, seeing these chemical additives feels like a betrayal of the brand's heritage. 7. Thomas's Original English Muffins. At number 7, Thomas's English Muffins hold iconic status in American breakfast culture. Those distinctive nooks and crannies creating a texture that's launched countless advertising campaigns. But creating those famous air pockets reliably requires more than traditional baking. The ingredient list includes both calcium propionate and sorbic acid, providing comprehensive mold prevention. The addition of soybean oil introduces a refined oil that brings concerns about processing methods and oxidation. Perhaps most disappointing is the inclusion of added sugar, unnecessary in traditional English muffin recipes, where slight sweetness should come naturally from grain. For health-conscious consumers trying to limit sugar from unexpected sources, finding it in bread products becomes frustrating. Thomas reflects how even breakfast classics have been transformed by industrial food production. 6. Great Value, Walmart Private Label. Moving into more troubling territory at number 6, Great Value bread exemplifies how private label products often cut corners on ingredient quality. This Walmart store brand contains calcium propionate and datem, the standard industrial preservative and dough conditioner combination. The ingredient list also includes monoglycerides and potassium iodate, adding multiple chemical interventions. Potassium iodate serves as a dough strengthener, but several countries have banned its use in bread due to health concerns. The compound adds iodine to the diet in an uncontrolled way that may contribute to excessive iodine intake, particularly concerning for people with thyroid conditions. Great Value represents the race-to-the-bottom pricing strategy where ingredient cost becomes the primary consideration. For budget-conscious shoppers, especially retirees on fixed incomes, the low price seems attractive until you realize what you're actually consuming. The pennies saved per loaf come at the cost of eating multiple preservatives and dough conditioners with every sandwich. 5. King's Hawaiian Sliced Bread. At number 5, King's Hawaiian expanded beyond their famous rolls into sliced bread, bringing the same sweet, soft character along with concerning additives. The ingredient list includes sorbic acid as a preservative and multiple emulsifiers, including datem, mono and diglycerides, and sodium stearoyl lactylate. This trifecta of dough conditioners ensures uniform texture across massive production volumes. What sets King's Hawaiian apart is the inclusion of anti-caking and processing aids like sodium silicoaluminate and calcium silicate. These aluminum-containing compounds prevent ingredients from clumping during manufacturing, serving purely production convenience. For older adults, aluminum compounds in food raise particular concerns given research into aluminum accumulation in cognitive health. The heavily processed nature of King's Hawaiian sliced bread reflects how specialty products often contain even more additives than standard breads. 4. Pepperidge Farm Farmhouse. Line coming in at number 4, Pepperidge Farm has long positioned itself as a premium bread option, with nostalgic advertising evoking simpler times and old-fashioned quality. The Farmhouse line in particular markets rustic authenticity, but underneath that wholesome branding sits calcium propionate and sorbic acid, providing dual preservatives that allow indefinite shelf life. The bread also contains datem and monoglycerides, dough conditioners that create consistent texture through chemical modification. What makes Pepperidge Farm's inclusion particularly disappointing is the disconnect between marketing and reality. The nostalgic imagery and premium pricing create expectations of higher ingredient standards that the label doesn't deliver. For older consumers who have trusted Pepperidge Farm for decades, discovering these preservatives and synthetic conditioners feels like discovering a friend has been lying. The company could produce bread with simpler ingredients given their premium market position, but chooses industrial methods instead. 3. Sunbeam. Claiming the number 3 spot, Sunbeam bread has been a supermarket fixture for generations. That simple logo evoking sunny wholesomeness. But there's nothing wholesome about high fructose corn syrup appearing in bread. The inclusion of this controversial sweetener linked to metabolic concerns and blood sugar disruption has no place in a staple food that Americans consume daily. High fructose corn syrup represents the industrial food system at its worst, a cheap, highly processed sweetener that replaced traditional sugars purely for cost savings. The bread also contains calcium propionate, diadem, and mono and diglycerides, the standard arsenal of preservatives and dough conditioners. The high fructose corn syrup makes Sunbeam particularly problematic for older adults managing diabetes or pre-diabetic conditions, turning a supposedly neutral food into a potential blood sugar disruptor. For consumers who grew up when bread contained flour, water, yeast, and salt, seeing corn syrup represents a fundamental perversion of what bread should be. 2. Sara Lee. Coming in at number 2, Sara Lee carries a name synonymous with American baking tradition, built on decades of marketing emphasizing home-baked quality. The reality is industrial bread loaded with preservatives and chemical conditioners. The ingredient list includes calcium propionate and sorbic acid, providing comprehensive mold prevention across vast geographical distribution. The bread contains diadem and monoglycerides as emulsifiers and dough conditioners, modifying protein structure and starch interactions for consistent industrial production. What makes Sara Lee's ingredient profile particularly concerning is how completely it contradicts the brand's wholesome image. The company built its reputation on bringing bakery quality to your home when they're delivering the opposite: industrially optimized bread that prioritizes shelf stability. For older adults who have trusted Sara Lee for decades, perhaps buying it for their own children and now grandchildren, learning about these preservatives and synthetic additives can feel like a betrayal of a lifelong relationship. 1. Wonder Bread. Taking the #1 spot as the absolute worst bread brand you can buy, Wonder Bread represents everything wrong with industrial bread production. This brand literally defined American processed bread, building through the balloon-filled wonder since 1921. The ingredient list includes calcium propionate, along with multiple dough conditioners such as diadem, mono, and diglycerides. The bread also contains added sugar, unnecessary in traditional bread, but included to enhance browning, improve texture, and mask bland flavor. What makes Wonder Bread particularly problematic is its cultural position as the default bread for multiple generations, normalizing heavily processed, chemically preserved bread as standard rather than aberration. The brand took bread, one of humanity's oldest and simplest foods, and transformed it into a science experiment optimized for shelf life and production efficiency. For older adults who grew up eating Wonder Bread without question, realizing it's been nutritionally bankrupt and chemically complex all along can be genuinely upsetting. Wonder Bread pioneered the industrial bread revolution that degraded one of our most basic foods, setting standards that the entire industry then followed. But here's the relief you've been waiting for. Not every bread brand has sacrificed quality on the altar of shelf life and profit margins. Some companies still understand that bread should be simple, honest, and real. These next 3 brands prove that commercial bread can be made right, with ingredients you can pronounce and nutritional integrity intact. Let's look at the brands that deserve your trust and your grocery dollars. 3. Rudi's Organic Bakery. Starting our safe list at number 3, Rudi's Organic Bakery has built their entire company around ingredient integrity and transparent practices. Their bread features organic wheat flour, organic distilled white vinegar, and cultured organic wheat starch, creating a short ingredient list where every component serves a traditional baking purpose. The organic certification means independent third-party verification that no synthetic pesticides, herbicides, or genetically modified organisms touched any ingredient from seed to shelf. This certification process is rigorous and expensive, requiring annual inspections and extensive documentation, which is why so many commercial bakers avoid it. But Rudi's commitment to organic standards protects consumers from the pesticide residues and GMO concerns that plague conventional wheat and grain products. The product page explicitly states, "No artificial preservatives," addressing the chemical preservative issue that makes so many other brands problematic. Without calcium propionate or sorbic acid, Rudi's bread has a genuinely limited shelf life, usually around a week, exactly as bread should be. This means more frequent shopping trips, but also means you're eating actual fresh bread rather than chemically preserved imitations. The cultured organic wheat starch serves as a natural preservative, using beneficial bacteria to extend freshness modestly without synthetic chemicals. For health-conscious older adults, particularly those managing inflammation or concerned about cumulative chemical exposure, Rudi's offers genuine peace of mind. The bread costs more than conventional brands, but that price reflects real ingredients and ethical farming practices rather than marketing and chemical additives. 2. Dave's Killer Bread. Claiming the #2 spot, Dave's Killer Bread has revolutionized the bread aisle by proving that quality ingredients and social mission can coexist profitably. The company nutrition page proudly declares USDA organic and non-GMO project verified certifications, providing double assurance about ingredient sourcing and production practices. The organic certification alone eliminates concerns about pesticide residues and genetically modified grains. But Dave's goes further, explicitly stating no high fructose corn syrup and no artificial preservatives or ingredients. This commitment addresses the two biggest problems plaguing conventional bread: unnecessary sweeteners and chemical preservatives. The bread contains wholesome ingredients including organic whole wheat flour, organic cracked wheat, and organic seeds including flax, sunflower, and sesame. These seeds add nutrition, texture, and flavor through real food rather than chemical additives. The whole grain focus means significantly more fiber, vitamins, and minerals compared to refined white flour dominating other brands. For older adults concerned about heart health, blood sugar management, and digestive wellness, this whole grain and seed combination provides genuine nutritional benefits. The company was founded by an ex-convict committed to second chance employment, meaning every purchase supports social rehabilitation beyond just personal health. The bread's hearty texture and substantial character reflects the quality ingredients inside, providing satisfaction that processed white bread never could. 1. Food for life. Ezekiel 4-9 sprouted whole grain bread. Taking the top spot as the absolute best bread you can buy, Food for Life's Ezekiel 4.9 represents bread making elevated to its highest form. The product page lists a remarkably short ingredient list centered entirely on organic sprouted grains and legumes. Organic sprouted wheat, barley, lentils, soybeans, and spelt. That's it. No preservatives, no dough conditioners, no added sugars, no chemical interventions whatsoever. The sprouting process activates enzymes that break down starches and proteins, making nutrients more bioavailable while reducing compounds that interfere with digestion. This ancient preparation method, referenced in the biblical book of Ezekiel, creates bread that your body can actually process efficiently. The USDA organic certification means every single grain and legume comes from certified organic farms, guaranteeing no pesticides, herbicides, or GMO contamination. The combination of grains and legumes creates a complete protein profile, providing all essential amino acids that make this bread genuinely nourishing rather than just filling. For older adults concerned about getting adequate nutrition from every food choice, Ezekiel bread delivers protein, fiber, vitamins, and minerals in bioavailable forms that white bread couldn't match. The sprouting process also reduces phytic acid, a compound that can bind minerals and prevent absorption, meaning you actually receive the nutritional benefits. What makes Ezekiel bread particularly remarkable is its complete absence of flour. The sprouted grains are ground into dough without the refinement process that strips away nutrients. The bread must be kept frozen or refrigerated because it contains no preservatives whatsoever, a minor inconvenience that guarantees you're eating real food. Food for Life proves that bread can be exactly what it's supposed to be: sprouted organic grains providing genuine nourishment without any compromises or shortcuts. There you have it. 12 bread brands hiding preservatives, dough conditioners, and unnecessary additives behind nostalgic marketing and convenient shelf life, plus 3 that honor what bread is supposed to be. Before your next grocery run, read those ingredient lists carefully, prioritize organic certification, and remember that real bread doesn't last forever on the shelf. If this video changed how you'll choose bread from now on, share it with friends and family who deserve to know what they're really eating.